Okay, welcome back. This is attorney Thomas B. Burton, and today's question comes from Beloit, Wisconsin, down near the Illinois border. And the writer asks the following: Is it legal in Wisconsin to do an online will? We would like to fill out a basic will. My husband and I are both 59. With this coronavirus, we felt we should get on that. So, yes, I salute you. I think it's a great idea for everyone to have a will, put a plan in place, their plan for what they want to happen to their assets versus the plan the legislature has written in the statutes. And so the great thing about creating a will is you get to make all the decisions about who will be your personal representative, who are the heirs, how do you want your estate handled, and how do you want it distributed. In Wisconsin, you can create a legally valid will using an online service. So to answer your question, I would say an online will, meaning one purely online, would not be valid. We need to have a paper will. So you can't just create it in the cloud and store it, but you can create a will online using an online service and then print out the final document and prepare and sign and date it in front of two disinterested witnesses. So the key here is that you can't do it all online. It has to be reduced to paper at the end, and you have to observe those will formalities, which is you sign the will in front of two disinterested witnesses not related by blood or marriage. And that's what you need to make a valid will. So, but in terms of actually drafting it up, there are online services you can use to do this. Now, I always caution folks, I feel I could use one of those online will makers and make a perfectly valid legal will in Wisconsin, but that's because I am a lawyer and I understand the questions it's asking me and why it's asking me those questions. I haven't gone through one of these lately, but I do think it's harder when you aren't trained in this area to know why the online program is asking you a certain question. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll see some questions related to this, and part of the benefit to working with a lawyer is we can have that conversation, give and take, and I can ask you, well, what are you really trying to accomplish here? And then I help you design a plan to meet those goals, whereas the program can't ask you a follow-up question like that. So you can do the online will. The other thing I would tell you is if you don't have the funds to hire a lawyer, the legislature has created a basic will in the Wisconsin statutes. You can go to the statutes, just Google that Wisconsin basic will, and you could print that out and sign it, and it has all the statutory language right in there. So if you didn't want to attempt the online will maker, you could do that. Or I always recommend, if you can afford it, working with a qualified estate planning attorney. Many attorneys do flat fee rates on estate planning like I do, so that you can know the cost up front. And in fact, at my office right now, we're doing drive-through will signings during the social distancing part of coronavirus, because we know it's on a lot of people's minds. So again, I don't want to discourage you at all. Great job working on this, and you can use one of these programs. I would just make sure it's a reputable one and that your will conforms with Wisconsin statutes. And again, make sure you observe the right formalities, signing and dating the will in front of two disinterested witnesses to make sure when you're all done you have a legally valid document that will hold up in court. So great question, and thank you for asking.